dogs, and friends at the farmyard. All of the engines are Thomas's friends, and so are all of the children. There had been an overnight summer storm on the island. The Fat Controller came to Tidmouth Sheds. The mayor has invited a famous artist to paint a picture called The Spirit of Toador. It will be put on show at Knapford Station, boomed the Fat Controller. Percy, you must collect the artist from Brendam Docks and show him all the most beautiful places. Yes, sir, said Percy. Thomas was excited for his friend, but Percy was worried. What's the Spirit of Toador? Asked Percy. Thomas thought. Everything that is special about the island, he said. No one knows the island better than you, he puffed, and no one loves it more than you. You're just the engine for the job. Percy felt better. He would show the famous artist somewhere very special. Somewhere that is the spirit of Soda. It has hills and valleys, fields and forests. All of the Fat Controller's engines love the island of Soda. One day the Fat Controller came to Tidmouth Sheds. He had splendid news. The mayor has invited a famous artist to paint a picture called The Spirit of Toador. The Fat Controller came to Tidmouth Sheds. He looked very serious. A strong wind has blown down the telephone lines, he said. Thomas, you must take the engineers to fix the telephone lines, or it will cause confusion and delay. Yes, sir, said Thomas, and puffed away. Thomas arrived at Brendam Docks. The telephone engineers boarded Annie and Clarabelle. Then Thomas noticed something in the sky. Thomas thought it was the most beautiful thing he had ever seen. Look at all those colours, Edward, gasped Thomas. Red and blue and yellow and green. That's a rainbow, puffed Edward wisely. An old story says you'll find something magical at the end of a rainbow. Something magical, gasped Thomas. That sounds wonderful. I must find the end of the rainbow right away. And he wished away as fast as he could. Thomas had to stop at a junction. The rainbow was overhead. Percy was already waiting there. Hello, Thomas! Percy tooted cheerfully. Sorry, Thomas puffed. No time to talk. I have to find the end of the rainbow. And he chuffed quickly away. Thomas puffed up Gordon's Hill. The end of the rainbow was just over the top. But when Thomas reached the top, the end of the rainbow had moved. Bother, said Thomas. Finally, Thomas passed Toby. Slow down, Thomas, Toby cried. There's something ahead on your tracks. But Thomas wasn't listening. He was sure the end of the rainbow was just around the corner. Then there was trouble. Thomas clipped the telegraph pole and they all came off the tracks. Luckily, no one was hurt. Cinders and ashes, Thomas cried. Thomas was stuck. His driver couldn't phone for help. The telephone lines were still not working. Then Thomas spotted Percy far away. Help! cried Thomas. Percy, help! And he whistled as loudly as he could. Thomas watched sadly as Percy puffed away. Percy isn't talking to me because I didn't have time to talk to him, thought Thomas. I was too busy chasing the end of the rainbow. Thomas knew it was his fault. But Percy had heard Thomas's whistle. He knew Thomas was in trouble, and he was hurrying to get help.
Thomas is in trouble!
Percy called out as he passed Henry. Then Henry told Bertie the bus. And Bertie told the children. The children told James. James told Harold the helicopter. And Harold the helicopter told Harvey. Harvey set off right away. Percy puffed across the island.
Somewhere special,
He choked. At last, Percy came to Shem Valley. It was very beautiful.
There you are, sir.
Cried Percy happily.
The spirit of Sodor.
The famous artist had a very long look. Too green, he said. I want you to show me somewhere special. Percy was surprised. He thought Shem Valley was very special. But the artist was very famous and very important.
Maybe Shen Valley isn't special after all.
Around the corner. Finally, Thomas passed Toby. Slow down, Thomas, Toby cried. There's something ahead on your tracks. But Thomas wasn't listening. He was sure the end of the rainbow was just around the corner. Then there was trouble. Thomas clipped the telegraph pole and they all came off the tracks. Luckily, no one was hurt. Cinders and ashes, Thomas cried. Thomas was stuck. His driver couldn't phone for help. The telephone lines were still not working. Then Thomas spotted Percy far away. Help! Cried Thomas. Percy, help! And he whistled as loudly as he could. Thomas watched sadly as Percy puffed away. And Bertie told the children. The children told James. James told Harold the helicopter. And Harold the helicopter told Harvey. Harvey set off right away. Harvey found Thomas in no time at all. Soon he had them all back on the tracks. Thank you for rescuing us, Harvey,
I made it.
said Thomas.
My first day of class.
Harvey told Thomas how the
The
message
school
had been
year's
passed
over,
on.
son. You missed
All
it.
of your friends have helped rescue you, he said. Thomas was very happy indeed. Thomas puffed along. The rainbow was still in the sky. But Thomas didn't try to find the end of the rainbow. He worked as hard as he could until all the telephones were working again. There is something magical at the end of a rainbow. My friends. Friends are the most wonderful thing of all.